Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Corporate Commander of TFW, and the man who joins me this week is the man who decides to stay at home, part 2. It's Mikey G. Wolfie 3. Hello, Mikey.
It sounds like a really weird episode of Deno.
Stay at home, part 2.
Stay at home, part 2! Climax
Stay home.
version. Stay home. Yes, that I've... Yeah, no, that stay home came back.
It had to. It was about time that Miko pulled out the sniper rifle and started gunning down the innocent once more.
I enjoyed, like, the multiple ones that I was going around showing different parts of it. One is just her going around, like, blowing the shit out of things, getting 5 stars and going, like, ha ha ha, and running off in the middle of it. The other is her standing on a bridge, blowing shit up, getting no stars, and
What?
just pausing every now and then. Like, why is no one coming to kill me?
Why was that a thing? Was that a glitch she somehow ran into?
Maybe, because she's not playing. It was on like the regular version, not the online version. So who knows?
Ah,
But
weird.
but yeah, it was real good crack, and it was like, yeah, the phrase "stay home" on any context is now ruined for me.
Yes.
I'll just laugh every time I hear it.
You'll always think of a Japanese shrine maiden and a sniper rifle.
Yes, as God intended.
Exactly. Yes.
They
yes,
did
I
an Among
agree.
Us today. I'm waiting for clips of that to show up.
Oh,
So-
who's she playing with?
Oh, Coco, Marine, Lammy, and Botan, I think were there, and Corona
okay.
and a few others I don't know off the top. of
Oh,
my
so
head.
it's a full Hololive crew one.
Which are usually a good crack.
Yes, JP only though. It sounds like.
Yes. There'll be no cross-national behavior here.
There'll be no Nene and Polka screaming, "Ame, no, you beautiful, beautiful girl, Nene sus, Nene not sus, Nene sus."
Trying to say, like, I'm blonde, you're blonde, we should shit, we're all blonde.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
I like
Anyway,
the drunk one they did. I like the drunk one they did for Christmas.
I don't think I saw that one.
Basically 10 of them got together, including Corona and a few others, and got smashed out of their faces.
Oh no.
To the point where I was watching it, and it just like someone did like a 20-minute long clip of Corona. She basically spent the entire time telling a story that one single story, right? That had nothing to do with what was ever going on. And when they had the meeting, she tried to tell them the same story, but she kept on getting interrupted and starting over again. And then when she got knocked out once, she was like still trying to tell the story over Discord out loud, even though she was knocked out, and got told to shut up. For God's sake, shut up by Marion. And then she turned it off and just like, he was made to me. She was hammered.
Oh no. Don't give your dogs alcohol, kids. They will try to tell you one story over and over again.
Yep. There's a lovely piece of art going around. I'll try and send you that just basically sums it up quite well.
Oh no. We are here, everybody, though, of course, once again to talk about Transformers this week. We do have some Transformers news that transforms, but not literally, of course. So we may as well get it kicked off, Mikey. Get the ball rolling, and then we can get on to what we did this week and more nonsense and woo-woo. So, Mikey, Shockwave SL-101. It is Shockwave Labs. Yeah, Shockwave Labs. It missed off the labs at the end there. They're doing an upgrade kit for Leader Class Studio Series Grimlock, the one that Mikey loves because it's completely accurate to the animation model from back in the day.
I'm not getting into this conversation again.
He loves it. So what does this upgrade kit include? Not much. It's Grimlock's sword, his classic sword. It's a 3D mass production. So you can tell it has kind of the rimmed effect that a 3D printed thing would have. There is very little say. It's Grimlock's sword. Mikey, do you think this is a good representation of Grimlock's sword? I also am kind of surprised that Grimlock doesn't have one to begin with, to be honest, for the Studio Series 1.
I remember that was a conversation point when it first showed up. But yeah, no, it's an unremarkable add-on, but it's a nice one.
Yeah. Would you have preferred something a bit more like a dinosaur head remove and swap around to something a bit more in your taste?
A bit, well, yeah, but I also fully accept the fact that more people are concerned about getting the sword.
That's fair. I think you'll probably be spending a bit more on the sword than you probably would want to. I would assume
$13.99.
Yeah, that's. I guess that's about right. It does seem a lot for one bit of plastic.
It's more than I'd pay.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh no, that is an image.
It's amazing.
Oh no. Why is Lammy breaking a bottle of beer over Botan's head?
She was very drunk.
Oh no.
Apparently, oh yeah, all of them were drunk except Botan, who doesn't drink.
Oh, okay. Is that why she's eating chicken legs?
Apparently so, yes.
Oh dear.
And Miko is having some sort of existential crisis.
It seems like it. I don't know what's happening with Miko.
Yeah, this
I don't know what's happening with most of them, to be honest. Apart from, it looks like Okiyu's just like telling a parent it's their fault.
Corona is telling her story.
No, is that what she's doing in the background? It doesn't look like it.
With her knife in her head.
It looks like she's been like you know when you get a baby and you wrap them in a blanket so they can't move.
Mm.
It looks like they've done that to Corona and stuck her in the corner.
But this artist, like, for every one of the major Among Us collaborations they've done one of these.
Ah, that's good.
Like,
it's a good art style. It's neat.
There's some real crackers in there.
I like it. Yeah, I might use that for this week's image somehow. I don't know how, but I might do that. If I remember. Hopefully, I'll remember. Any other thoughts on the sword, Mikey? Because
yeah, it's a piece of plastic, but
it's a piece of plastic. Yeah,
it's neat what it is, but it is that kind of add-on I'm not particularly interested in.
Yeah, it's kind of I mean, the fact that it feels like it should have just been in the toy to begin with, and they gave us a arguably not very good wheelie instead is certainly something you could kind of raise an eyebrow at, I would say.
Yeah, a lot of... I haven't heard anyone say anything nice about that wheelie. Like, nothing.
Well, I mean, what is there to say about the wheelie? It's stuck in one pose, it's bow-legged, it's hollow legs. It's made for one pose for him to sit on Grimlock's back, and that's it.
Yeah.
What else is there? Why bother?
You could say lots of things.
Okay, what else would you say?
Hi.
Okay, yeah. Hi, I'll do. Yeah, perfect. Whatever, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Mikey, do you want to take us on to something with a bit more meat to this story? A bit more bone.
Razzle-dazzle, shall we say.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mechanic Studio MS-27 Poison. This is a Legend Scale G1 Octane. MS-27 this is. So yeah, so this is of course the triple changer, Octane, or Tankor, whatever you want to call them.
No.
Thin Tankor.
Octane. No. Octane.
Skinny Tankor.
No.
What if he came with Fat Tankor as well though?
Yeah, I'd be alright, but a Tankor always has to just be called Fat Tankor now to body shame him.
Yep. So yeah, we get to see him in all modes. The truck mode looks surprisingly strong, and apart from looking a little squished on the front, at least the overall, and like having a very small tail fin, the plane looks okay. Like, the plane is always the mode to suffer with Octane.
I don't know about the plane.
Yeah.
The plane is certainly, like you say, is certainly suffering here.
Yeah, it looks like it might come with a stand, or I don't know if that's included, but
I'm not sure.
Also comes with a gun and an alternate head for him to go, ah!
Or it could be a pog face.
I like my one better.
No.
Also, I don't know if this is a reference to something, but they've got him, like, mid-transformation. Like,
yeah, it was from the Ghost of Starscream when Starscream appears to him and he's mid-transform.
Oh, right.
That's why he's in that pose, because Starscream's meant to be there going, "Hello, Octane, would you like me to finger you?"
You can see through me, can't you? Oh, you can see so many things that you didn't want to see.
Oh God.
I could have taken over from Chris Latta.
I think so, easily.
Yeah, so I think the robot mode looks surprisingly solid, to be completely honest.
Yeah, definitely have decided to go with a more animated or animation version than, say, the toy, at the very least.
I think he looks okay.
Yeah, for a Legend Scale version, he's not too bad. I think I'm going to be a bit harsher on the plane mode than you. I think the plane mode looks a bit on the crappy side, but again, he's a triple changer. Again, he's Octane, and again, there are very few versions, even third-party versions, where they've managed to get the jet to look nice. There are some, don't get me wrong, there are some third-party ones that have done the jet mode very, very well, but they're a much bigger scale, I think.
I'm just thinking of the Titan's Return molds. That jet.
Which one was that?
That's the one that started out as an Optimus.
Oh, yeah. That's I think if they lent a bit more into Cybertronian jet, that could have worked a bit better than at least in my head. I pretend it's more of a Cybertronian jet than what it's meant to be.
I've still got that.
Doesn't look like a jumbo
I've still
jet.
got the G2 Optimus version of that mold.
Oh yeah, yeah. You never got the upgrade kit for it to make it into the Action Master version, did you?
No.
Shame.
I'd rather get a Scourge, but I'm not paying that kind of money. Oh.
No. No, definitely not. Definitely not. It wasn't that good of a figure to make you want to get multiples of it. That's for sure. At least not for me. Anything else then with Octane, Le Poison Boy?
Poison. Sorry, I've just got bloody 01 in my head now. No, I think he looks pretty good. I honestly think someone's used the name Poison for him before, though.
I mean, maybe. Probably. Third party's been around for long enough that Poison probably has been used for a third party kit at some point, at the very least, I'd say. A fair guess, Mr. Mikey.
Yeah. I think he looks good. I'm not excited by him, but I think he looks solid.
Cool.
Take us on, Andy.
Yes, TFC Toys show off the S-04 Lucifer, which is Cutthroat. Cutthroat being one of the Terracons. He is a burb who turns into an arm for Abominasu. He is a very stylized version. It even says in the story here, while not toy accurate, we are sure many fans will like this modern and highly stylized design of the classic G1 Terracon member. I don't know, because so many third parties decide to lean so heavily into G1.
Yeah, someone's probably sitting there going what the fuck is this?
It seems like they're going for a lot of demon names as well for this TFC Satan's components. Because the combined form's called Satan. Haha. I guess that's why. So you've got Lucifer, you've got 01, which was Astaroth, which I'm guessing was probably Rippersnapper. No, Sinatwin. No.
Let's have a look.
Hungar, right?
I'm gonna Google as you go. Astaroth.
Oh no, it says in brackets here, it says Sinatwin. Astaroth with Sinatwin.
Yeah, I remember. God, I looking at a picture of this, it looked like it was a long time ago.
Oh no. Well, can take a while for these things to come out.
Because I think some of these are retools of the Seacons they did.
Yes, it says so. Yeah. It says they're similar to the Poseidon that they did, which was Piranacon, like you say. They also did Mammon, which was Blot, Leviathan, which was Rippersnapper, and now, like I say, we've got Lucifer. So who is Hungar going to be, Mikey?
Beelzebub?
You not think Baal? Baal Barbatos?
You're just naming Gundams now.
Yep, because in that series, there was 72. The 72 Gundams were named after demons in that.
The 72 Gundams were named after the 72 demons of hell from Dante's Inferno, I believe.
Yep. Marcosius? I don't think they'd use Marcosius, to be honest.
Oh god, what's the one they released recently?
You mean for Iron-Blooded Orphans?
Yeah, the new one. The new suit that got made last year, I think.
Well, technically it was Hiroboshi, but it was
something.
Yeah, that was Marcosius.
Oh, that was Marcosius. I thought that was
the one with the massive backpack. That's Marcosius.
And lots of little arms.
Yes, yeah, that was the Marcosius. Yeah. I wish they'd do the rest of them, or more, because I like the idea of 72 different Gundam designs in a series. The idea of the Calamity War in Iron-Blooded Orphan sounded really neat. But they never went too far into it, unfortunately. It happened hundreds of years ago.
Where the fuck did the mobile armors come from would be something to deal with.
Yeah, well, I think the idea, like, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that the thing was they made the mobile armors, but the AIs for them went a bit funky and decided, like, oh, yeah, everyone should be killed now. I think the idea behind the mobile armors was like a Terminator kind of Skynet effect.
I think that's the broad intent, but it'd be nice to delve into things a bit.
It sounds like something you could work with. Like, even if it was just a standalone movie, an OVA, or, like, if you want to be really boring, you could just do it as a manga series, and then have no one ever talk about it ever again. And every now and again, you just release the main suit, and then no one will ever talk about it ever again, apart from just every now, and then maybe pumping out one pirate mech. Right,
Why
Mikey?
do you have to attack me specifically, Andy?
Because that is unfortunately a really good example of like, oh, he's a thing that everybody really wants, but no, we're not going to give you an animated version of Crossbones. It's like everybody's like, oh, I really love the Crossbones. The Crossbones sells pretty well every time it comes out, as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep making the cross. Yeah, well, that's the thing. They wouldn't keep making it, and it's repaints if it didn't sell a lot. And it's like, we're not going to bother with the show for it though. Don't need to. It's been too long. It's like, fuck you. You redo so many original Gundam stuff.
Or like
just,
so much
just do that.
Of what they like do for Universal Century is made in like the 90s.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, technically the universe is all set there. You didn't have to do Unicorn. You did. I don't know. I would totally go for a new series of Gundam Crossbones over like a Gundam Build Divers, a Build Fighters, a Build something. Would you? Because even like you liked Build Divers, or
I liked one
I should
of them.
say, and I wasn't that fussed.
I like one of them. I would
That's fair.
emphasize, but I mean, I would, but I just want to see like an anime because, like as I said, Crossbones is secretly a super robot show, which is
the real reason why you like it,
and one of the reasons I think it's never been made.
I wonder if that's the case.
I also find it hilarious when people complain about the designs online or something like, these don't look like Gundam design. I'm just like,
did you watch Zeta?
Go through. Forget that. Go through the typical enemy mechs that show up in so many things that aren't the baseline grunts.
Yeah.
And then come back to me.
Yeah, some of those get a bit on the wonky side.
People always.
I think Zeta is a good one to point to because they have so many weird, funky designs in that. It's like, come on now.
Hello, this is the O.
Yeah, exactly. I love the O. The O is one of my favorite mechs because it's just so big and fat, and it's got hidden arms underneath its skirt. He's such a little fat tubby boy. I love him, and his head's so tiny. His little head. Oh, I always like the O. Yes. Anyway, Mikey, what do you think of Lucifer? How do you think he's turned out? Because being Andy, think he looks pretty good. He's got a really interesting design. I think the bird mode doesn't look great from atop. Like if you're looking straight down on it, it looks. I mean, it is what it is. The wings clearly fold in, and you can tell that. It kind of comes across in the bird mode that's what you do, and it looks a bit flat for the wings. But I think it does pull off a really nice robot mode silhouette. And I think from an underneath point of view, which is, I think, the way that you meant to see the bird mode, it doesn't look too bad. It looks okay.
No, it's got more of a Rodan vibe to it, to be honest, than a normal bird.
Oh, yeah, totally, actually, yeah.
I'm kind of, like, they've worked in joints and stuff into the wings to the point where it can pull off a full clot look.
Yeah.
In robot mode, which I was just like, okay. So that's kind of neat. So there's a repaint for you if you ever buy one. But I'm not buying it to repaint it into the full cloth before anyone says anything.
Would you buy it to repaint it into Rodan?
Rodan.
Or
Radon.
Here's a question. I'm sorry to take us off topic, but Mikey, I'm not saying it will be done. Could this set be done into a Godzilla Toho style set? Like, think of what each of the monsters are from the Terracons. Could they be tweaked into a Toho monster?
Some of them could.
Like, you could do, obviously, Hungar into King Ghidorah, surely. Yeah.
Well, that's you'd have to add an extra head.
I don't think you wouldn't, because you wouldn't want to get wrecked, right? I'm just saying throw the colours on.
Colours. You could do him as Ghidorah. Yeah, well, you could do, like, King Ghidorah and Deck Ghidorah, or and or Desgador, whatever you want to call him, for Hunger and Sinner Twin.
Yeah.
There's multiple Ghidorahs, for anyone who doesn't know. Block could be redone into, like, Gara. Or
Which
Gabra.
one's that? Is that the one that goes, wah, when it has the female suit actress?
Baragon. But, actually, no, Baragon might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We need Baragon.
Land Shark Titanosaurus.
What a name. That's a great name.
Is there anyone left? No, I think that, and this guy into Rodan, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Get on it. Yeah, sorry, you were saying about what you thought of it. You liked it for the most part.
Yeah, I like it. The robot mode looks really clean. I'm not crazy about how the wings look normally, because they just have that kind of, like, folded in on themselves look, which does give him
just on his back, you mean?
Yeah, which does give him a wing silhouette without giving him, like, as big, like, the big spread out wings.
Yeah.
But it does. I think it's a little messy.
Okay. Would you prefer they closed up more kind of thing?
Yeah, or if they pulled into his back more, and then you, like, if there was a hinge on the inside of the wings where you could move them in, and then you wouldn't have to, like, fiddle with the edges of the wings.
I suppose. Do you think that's more of a concession of the fact that they've decided to have this full cloth mode to it?
Yeah, because they've added up in these extra joints and everything else.
Yeah.
I think the arm looks good. I think he, like, overall, I think he looks better than... He's got a better overall design in boat modes than the other TFC guys from the set. They all look a little incomplete to me. Yeah. Like, Block's got a weird thing where the troll head is like, way far forward with no neck. So I like him. I like it. It's appealing to the kaiju fan in me, which is really cool. Yeah. And I think he's the best one of the lot. I'm very curious to see how Hunger's going to turn out.
Yeah, definitely, because we haven't seen the combined form either of all these guys. Not even a great prototype, I don't think, right?
Nope.
So yeah, hopefully that'll look. I mean, he'll look like, Abominus for the most part. It'll just be the tweaks to the design with all these bits included. How it'll kind of end up, I suppose, which will be quite interesting. But yeah, there you go. Mikey, do you want to take us on to the next bit of news?
Yeah, so, quick little bit here. Jiangxing, Jesus Christ, who did a Transmetal 2 Megatron, so the Toon Accurate Transmetal 2 Megatron. They've revealed images of JX Metal Beast 02 Cold Dragon, which is their version of the RID repaint of Transmetal 2 Megatron into Cryotech. So, as far as I can tell, there's no information in extra parts, and there's only one accessory I can think you could include that would, like, fulfill a Cryotech kind of look, which is the little crowbot he came with.
Oh yes, yeah, true.
So I have him as an accessory, but we get to see him in robot mode and dragon mode, and it's a really good looking dragon mode. Like, I really like how the silver, the sort of teal silver plays out in several parts of him. Especially of the eyes, and the robot mode, it looks good. Now the robot mode looks like basically Megatron in blue, so he doesn't have the mask that Cryotech sometimes has.
That's a shame.
But overall I think he looks good. What are your thinkings, Andy?
How long ago was it that the original Transmetal 2 Megatron came out from this?
A year ago, I think.
I wonder if it was pushed back because of COVID, but it seems like it's been a very long time since that one, like, actually came out to the public, that this one was announced. So I guess you gotta assume it's a COVID thing, that there was such a delay on this. Otherwise, it's a big gap for them just to do, like, oh, here's a blue repaint, Yeah. I too would have liked to have seen a bit of the different face mold, though. Like you say, the caged mask over the mush would have been nice. Yeah. It's all right, though. It's blue.
No, it's looking good. And I hear really good things about that mold, so...
Didn't Jobby do a video on it?
He did a few, and I saw a few other videos, and we were just like, holy... It's also a monster. It's huge.
It's a bit... Like, how tall was it? I can't remember.
About the same size as a large cat.
Oh, wow. That's pretty big. Unless you've got a very large cat, but consider it very small.
Yeah.
Which is redundant.
My cat is small. It only eats as much as it needs. Cat is basically all belly with no legs.
Oh no. Meow. Unfortunately, there are some cats that are like that. It hungers for more.
But all it can do is wiggle its little feet.
Oh, poor cat. Poor depressingly fat cat. Shall I take us on, Mikey?
Please.
Magic Square Toys was one of the guys that we talked about last week or the week before. I think it was last week. And they showed off their version of their Legends scale Devastator. And they showed off Mixmaster last time. This week, they're showing off their Scrapper. So, it's an unpainted Scrapper, of course, but we have him in a few poses. In both modes, being his little excavator mode. Not an excavator. What is it?
A vehicle from a construction site.
Yeah, with a scoop on the front, but not an
vehicle.
Excavator.
I don't
Not one of those.
know.
No, it's green and purple. That'll do. It is standing next to the Mixmaster as well. It seems to be suggesting in the images it's going to come with 2 extra accessories. I guess a bigger head, or maybe a bigger head, but it's definitely different colored. The one that comes with the figure, at least in the images, is completely black. The extra side one has a grey face, which I guess is the more animation accurate version.
Toy is grey. Animation is black with Scrapper.
Is that true?
Yeah, I remember. I believe so. Yes.
Send Mikey messages if he's wrong.
Well, there would be a first.
He also comes with a green barrel as well, which is more the toy accurate version of for Mixmaster. Obviously, not for himself, as far as I'm aware. He also has a goon, a little pistol. And yeah, we see him combined with all the rest. The 2 legs are coloured, and the rest is in grey plastic. There's also a suspicious Motormaster box in the background, so who knows what they'll be doing next. Or is that something they've already done?
Don't know.
Shall we assume that they haven't done it yet?
We can assume that, I suppose.
Alright, and if we're one again, send Mikey messages and say he's right.
No. It's Andy's idea this time.
So we agree. Mikey's fault. Excellent. What do you think of this guy? Because again, I think I really like the look of these. They look nice. I like the idea of Legend Scales combiners. It's all the rage at the moment because we were...
Yes.
Hey, Mikey, do you remember... Not only a few years ago, it was let's do all the combiners into master scale, master grade form, and now I guess it's like, hey, let's do them in Legends scale. Yeah, I guess this is a thing we're gonna see now for a bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Scrapper though, how do you feel?
I think he looks good. There's some nice joints in him. Like I like how the shoulder looks like it's gonna work with it looks like it's got a hinge and a cut worked into it, which is nice. He's got a bit of ankles going on. The overall proportions are good. Obviously, I want to see him with a bit more paint and a bit more detail done in. But he looks good. He looks good next to Mixmaster.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty pleased with how he turned out, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely would probably like to pick these up because I didn't get the Unite Warriors version of Devastator. So it's not like I'm gagging for a Devastator, but to have like a small... in theory, affordable one, because I think Magic Square's like Legends were pretty reasonably priced from what I remember, right?
I don't remember, to be completely honest, but I don't think they were crazy.
Yeah, I don't think they were like 40 quid or something for one.
Didn't Magic Square, isn't that one of the ones that started off as a KO company?
I'm pretty sure it is. I think that's why they're able to do them at a decentish price, from what I remember. I could be wrong, but I'm very happy with how these look. So if they're a decent price, you never know. Maybe Andy's gonna dip his little pinky into the third party market, which I don't think Andy's done for years. I don't think I've touched a third party toy in a long time. Moon. Yeah, definitely. Mikey, I gave you the story because I know how happy you've been over the week. I
thought you might have.
You've been such a happy boy this week, and you haven't had one thing to say about it on Twitter, so I thought it was about time to let Mikey...
I didn't get any pushback from anyone about the nothing I said.
Oh, really? I'm surprised. I would have thought you would have done.
That's called sarcasm, and I know you know what I mean. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the official first reveal from Takara this time of Kingdom KD12 Commander Class, so to speak, Rodimus Prime. So, just going over quickly, this is a Rodimus figure. which is not, so I went over this because there was a lot of talk about this, not just from Andy but from other people. This is not a direct upscaling and remolding of the original Studio Series Hot Rod, right?
Yeah, it really looks like it is.
What it is an almost identical piece of engineering. So
Yay.
all the engineering, as far as I can tell, and as far as I found out from other people, is identical. Like the only he's got a shorter front of the car, and he's got a way fatter arse than most toys of this design ever had.
Hang on, are you saying he's dummy thick?
He is dummy thick. That becomes a backpack, like the back of the car becomes a backpack in the Studio Series.
Yes.
And so on and so on. And like everything here is different, but everything here works identically.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like, what's it called? Smoke Jumper from G2, who was then used a good few times in the future.
Yeah, and he's Energy on Starscream.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that might be the case, but I'll be honest. I actually did think it was just, at least for the lower half of the body, I was 100% sure that they were just like rescaled up, because the thighs and the entire legs, like waist downwards, looked pretty much, at least from the original images, the same.
More foot articulation than
which makes sense.
Inverted commas Voyager Deluxe.
Yeah,
the Studio Series one. So accessory wise, he comes with a blaster. Based off of his classic blaster. And he comes with a sword, which I believe is based off of some obscure piece of fiction I don't remember. I think it might be Marvel. Something in Marvel.
Mikey, if it turns up in a comic, a Japanese Legends comic, then I'll believe it's in Transformers Legend. It was in Transformers lore. If it doesn't, then I'm going to say bullshit.
You may be right. He also comes with a Matrix and an effect part for it.
Woo.
Now, we only see one effect part in these promo shots, because it's in two different news stories. But according to a listing that's out there, he will come with 10 effect parts and 1 battery, so it's possible that the Matrix might light up.
Oh, yeah, I saw people talking about this today, and I was like, wow.
Right? I haven't even gotten the good bit yet, Andy.
Oh, there's more? Okay.
Yeah. So, for reference, the effect part appears to be one that's already been out there, and a very kind Japanese fan did some scaling with the Earthrise Optimus Prime mold.
Hang on, when you say the effect part, do you mean the blast effect part?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant the Matrix glow effect.
No.
Part.
As far as I know, that's new.
Okay.
But I think it might be an effect part from Skylings. But they scaled it using that, and it appears this is a standard Voyager scale toy.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Cool. So you and I think last week were assuming he was going to be leader sized.
Well, logically it would make sense.
We were going to say he's going to be leader with a trailer.
Yeah.
He seems, again, we haven't handled the toy, but he seems to be Voyager with a trailer. And the trailer is a very big box.
Yeah.
Seems to be it is chunky. It opens up and you can have a battle platform and a big gun.
And it turns into armor, right?
And a big gun.
And it turns into armor, and it'll do something really cool, right?
Big gun. The gun looks like it might move because it's got little treads.
Yeah.
Now, I first of all, before I say my piece, because I've got to say it, Andy, what are your thoughts on this guy?
Man, I'm really glad he's getting 10 effects parts to make up for the massive amount of money that you're going to have to spend for its class. That's that totally makes up for the fact that you're paying for a Voyager figure with a big square on its back that doesn't do anything, very much like our issues with the Optimus Prime, seemingly from what we know so far, which could easily change. This seems like a really kind of gross money grab from Hasbro, in my opinion. It seems really doity. Really, really doity. Just like throwing in what I would imagine are quite cheap bits of plastic for the effects parts. I don't think they cost that much to make, to be honest. I from what it seems like, what you paid for Skylings to what you're getting here with Rodimus, I don't see the personal value myself. Also, what color is this guy in, Mikey?
He is in Hot Rod colors.
Exactly. So you're not really going for Rodimus either. So I don't understand what the idea is to make. I mean, I guess they're trying to go for the G1 toy, but if you're doing a Rodimus and you're doing one for in quotations, the fans, right? Because this is what this is, clearly.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you put him in his weird burgundy color? I actually saw a digibash of him in burgundy. I was like, oh, it looks way more like Rodimus now, and a lot less like Hot Rod. Why not do that? I don't know.
Apart from that sense, what do you think of the way the toy looks and everything else? Like, he's got a very odd proportions for his vehicle mode, for instance.
Oh, yeah. The fact that they're trying to make the Hot Rod toy as well. Are we assuming that the extra effects parts are maybe going to? I don't know. Are we trying to go for that one
effects? I'm assuming they're just blast effect parts, and like I don't think this is going to be a case of like we're trying to make it so that this base robot mode can look more hot roddy.
See, I was wondering if they were going to try and go for the episode where he gives up the Matrix and Scourge turns into a bar of soap.
And see if they give you a soap bar Scourge, I'd actually would be kind of okay with it.
Yeah, just like a big lump of plastic Scourge who's like melting.
Yeah.
that'd be
like
stupid.
Wheelie. He'll just sit there. But
it'd be completely hollow. But that would at least make sense for why he. I guess they have this mode because again, it's the toy. Like the original G1 toy, you could pull him out, and it was like this crappy car that didn't do anything, that didn't look very good. And they're like, okay, if we just use the basic engineering of Hot Rod and then add a trailer to the back, that'll do. Yeah, it feels very much like that. It does feel like he's sticking out very far from the trailer. I think that's a concession for what they're trying to do. But the robot mode looks good, apart from not being the right color. I mean, the Studio Series 1 didn't look too bad either, so
no, shoulders seem
mainly based off that.
Not great.
I mean, I think that's the issue just with the design, isn't it? Because he's always had the headlights kind of going up. So if you do any kind of upwards,
have like a hinge around there, so that you can move the arms out and those headlights stay static. Like you'd have to like. If
that would look weird though.
Maybe, but I think it would look better sometimes than that look he always has, which is like when he does do 90 degrees, like his shoulders are up, pointed at the side of his head.
Well, it's a lot better than like Armada Megatron, to be fair.
Armada Megatron was a good boy.
He was a good boy, but he had a very, very weird design.
he had shoulders that functioned and made him look tall.
It's what like happens. It's the meme of like, you know, the guy that goes and just does arm day. This is the guy that just did shoulder day. Armada Megatron is shoulder day every day.
Shoulder.
Bless him.
Every time I see you, I do one shoulder lift.
Yep, it's every day. Nothing else. But yeah, I think that for most of the part. Oh, you also told me about the blast effect parts, Mikey. So I guess we can segue onto your thoughts and some interesting thoughts on the blast effects.
Yeah, so this is kind of a word of warning. In case you don't remember, because some people don't, there was a problem with the Siege blast effect parts in that when they are left in the toy for a while. Like, if they're just left in there, there's multiple cases of these having a chemical reaction with your figure.
I'd never heard of this. I hadn't heard this until you told me about it. I was like, what? Are you bullshitting me?
Yeah. Now, I don't think it's a case of, like, eats it away, but I think it, like, warps the plastic inside. So, like, if you've got it on a peg or something like that, you'll probably find that will loosen up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's not a case. It's only if you leave them on. Like, it's something to do whatever the rubberized plastic, the effect parts are made of. It reacts badly to the actual plastic the toys are made out of.
Yeah.
So don't, like, whether it's this guy or Siege or anyone else, don't leave the effects parts on. Which is always a good thing to say about the parts that are supposed to be there on display. Also, I didn't mention it there, but we do have some prices. Different retailers are doing it for different prices, and if you're buying from the Japanese retailers, they are, of course, doing their pre-order discounts. So the average price now, and I'm just rounding up because I haven't seen any American prices for this yet, so I can't comment. This is going to be out in August.
I think it is definitely interesting that this was announced through Takara, and Hasbro hasn't said anything about an American version as of yet, which is interesting.
So the average price, buy it now, and the average, including the retail discount, is coming out at about 10,000 yen, between 95 and 10,000 yen, which is in or around $100, $90 to $100, depending on your conversion rate.
And how's that comparative to the Commander Skylinks from the same place?
That's about the same price. About the same price. Now, depending on where you're buying it from, he can't the regular retail price in several places is 14,000 yen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about $130, which some of the places that are selling him, he is more expensive than Skylinks. Like Amazon at full price, he's more expensive than Skylinks. In other places, it's the same price, but it's going. Remember, we're warning again. If you are buying from these places, if you wanna get your pre-orders in now, please be aware of several things. Most Japanese shippers are not using SAL shipping at the moment, and are not and may not be in August. What they are doing they're using other shipping methods, which tend to be quite a bit more expensive. So expect to pay at least 20 on shipping. I saw Amazon has 2,700 yen for shipping.
Right. And
be aware that this is very likely, given the price and everything else, to be hit by customs. So add another 20 or 30 on for there if you are buying from here. Obviously,
I don't know why anyone in the if you're in the East, totally do it. If you're in the West, why would you buy this toy from the East? Because it's been a while since we've had a Japanese release where it's been any different. If it's just to get the toy early, I mean, obviously do what you want with your money. It's your money, of course. But, I would highly recommend just waiting until you can buy from our Amazon.
Our advice would be either get it from Amazon, get it from the shops, get it from Hasbro Pulse, which is that in the news this week?
No, it should have been.
I'll throw it in when we get to it.
Okay.
So, if you can get it from a local means, either shopping in the shops or online from someone in your own country, please hold off until then, would be my recommendation. Again, I can't tell you how to spend your money. But if you are buying from Japan, expect to add at least $25 on top of it, probably close to $50.
Yeah, I guess it all depends, doesn't it? But I be safer and assume that you'll have to pay more. I think is the way forward.
Yeah. So I might as well get this out of the way, and I'm prefacing this that this is all my opinion. This is
Mikey.
This is not a comment on you who is buying this or who is excited by this or whatever, because I've seen people who think I'm very happy to get something that looks like this. Blah blah blah.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'm not complaining about you for liking it. I am complaining for this existing.
I wish you weren't so fucking hateful, Mikey.
I hate you, Andy.
There we go. You send me that message every day. I have a birthday card from you that says that. Maybe.
Probably. So I've been listening to podcasts about this because I've been very curious, and I've heard people say, "Oh, I like the look of it. The vehicle mode's off, but I like the idea of an older-looking Rodimus." I don't think he does enough. I don't actually like the face sculpt, if I'm honest, but that's beside the point.
I think it's better than the Hot Rod, because the Hot Rod, when you look at them side by side, his face is just devoid of detail.
Yeah,
and you can see why they did it, because clearly they were going to do the Rodimus later.
Yeah. But I've heard people say, listen, at the end of the day, it's only $80, it's only $100. I'll buy that, it's fine. And I have, that is a direct quote from several podcasts and several things I've seen. And people have commented to me, listen, that is a lot of plastic in the back. That is definitely, filling out the price point. Mm-hmm. And these justifications are fine. And if you were telling me you were buying this for your child, who is going to play with this and throw it around and run around the floor going pew pew with the big turret and everything else, do you know what? That to me is getting the value out of the toy, because that will be hours and hours and hours and hours of play if you do it right. Right? They'll do that in the evenings, they'll do that in the weekends, it'll get weeks, if not months out of it. Hell, if they're like us, they'll probably get years. But I'm approaching this from 2 point of view. I am a collector, which means I am looking for things that appeal to me as a collector. And I am someone who cannot afford to throw $80 at every figure that comes out. I love most of the Kingdom stuff. I want to get that Megatron. I want to get all the deluxes. I definitely want to get an Optimus at some point. But I have pre-orders that I put in months before Kingdom came out that I'm already committed to, for stuff that I'm still very excited about. And I have loans and bills and other things to pay off. Yeah. And I am not currently in a very good financial position. And it will be a while before I am able to just casually throw money out like that. Right? I have to consider if this thing is value for money, because that is really the big justifier for me.
Sure,
like,
definitely.
Honestly, like, looking back at it now, I could justify getting Skylinks. I wasn't crazy about the toy, and I'm still not crazy about it, but I could justify getting it. I wouldn't have minded picking up Jetfire when he came out. And I could justify that price, because he's big, he's got a nice armor-up gimmick, you know.
I think that's weird to hear, because I would have assumed you'd have no interest in them, just in general. I wouldn't have thought you'd be bothered at all with getting them, even, like, if you had the money. When
you don't have the money, it's very easy to go, like, no consideration whatsoever.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
But, like, Skylinks, at least, like, I don't like Skylinks as a design, if I'm honest.
Okay.
But at least if I paid $80 for him, I might scream at 100. But if I paid $80 or $90 for him, I think I'd have gotten the value out of the figure in terms of size, playability, everything else.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, same with Jetfire.
Mm-hmm.
What I see here is an engineering I've already seen on a $30 toy, which is what this is going to be unless that scaling is off. This is a $30 figure. And before someone says Earthrise Prime is a leader class figure, I have the mold in front of me right now. It is a $30-something figure.
Sure.
And please don't pull that with me. Which means that, so let's say you're paying the minimum I think you'll pay for this from an American retailer, which is $80, right?
Sure,
you're paying $30 for a toy and $50 for an accessory. And that accessory is one that you as a collector will almost certainly not use, because you as a collector do not have the room for most of these figures. Now,
if you wanted, you could say, like, I think you could happily say from a advocate position, there will be specific, not the majority, but I think there will be a specific market that does have the space to display them.
Yes,
with
absolutely.
Said trailer, but
there are people who will have spaces put away, they'll have detoffs, there'll be people who like, I only buy figures that I can have like cool display bases for, and that's like, seriously, I would love to have more room to display stuff. Like, I have very few figures or kits in poses at the moment, so like, I these days I tend to try and make room so I can have poses, but you know, just not always the case. Like, I'm looking up now, the original Crossbone kit I got those many moons ago is currently like in a big pose, and he's attacking Shockwave. And Shockwave is like, my god, I've got all my armor on. I'm the best toy that came out in the last 5 years. But he's not, but I'm very fond of him. I can't on any level justify a $50 accessory I'll never use for more than a day. Like, the time isn't in it. The engineering certainly isn't in it, because this isn't new engineering as far as I can tell. The design isn't in it. This isn't a character I love. Like, nothing about this. I don't have any of the nostalgia elements to justify it. And the financial thing is not fucking there as far as I can tell. Unless there is a huge, huge reveal with these accessories that we haven't seen yet. Like, and no, the Matrix lighting up does not count as a huge reveal.
I mean, I can see why the price would go up because of it, because of LED, but not LED. Justifiable to the amount that it's been put.
Like, when I thought this was a leader, at least I could pull the same thing I could say with Optimus. Okay, like, you're paying 60% of the price, 60 to 70% of the price for the toy, and there's this accessory that's making up the rest of the box.
Sure.
This is probably as bad in my mind as the MP Optimus fiasco.
Which fiasco?
For me, it's a fiasco. The fact that you got a $200 toy and you were paying $500 for it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
Because they bulked out that box. And, like, again, people could justify it, whatever, but...
Sure.
I assume you come here to hear me give an opinion on whether or not a toy is a good purchase or not, whether it's from looking at news stories or the ones I buy myself or whatever, right? I cannot in good conscience recommend this figure to anyone, because even if you have the money, there are things you can spend money on that are better value for that money. Like, this is not good value for money, in my opinion. Like, $30 toy, $50 accessory that will end up in storage in 70 to 90% of cases. The money is not there. And I appreciate everyone who's had counter arguments to say to me online. I will say, no one's had a go at me. No one's been rude.
Oh, that's good.
I've seen people be rude elsewhere, but no one's tried to pick anything with me, and I appreciate that.
That's good.
And my dog goes off and says, like, no, yell at him. But I'm almost genuinely insulted that this has been made this way. Part of it is, of course, the G1 obsession is here because, like, and I saw some people saying, like, well, he's going to be in scale. I don't give a damn about scale. This is a commander class figure. I expect it to be on the chunky side.
Yeah.
Like, if the figure was a single thing that all transformed, I think that would have been much more interesting.
Definitely.
If they went the Shockwave route, the Titan's Return route, the Siege route, and, like, the trailer breaks down into armor, and because it's commander class, you go to fucking town on the armor. That would have been amazing. I think I could have justified.
Mm-hmm.
This I cannot justify.
You could have the armor or the trailer maybe turn into a small robot and make a new character like Six Gun or like Scram, that kind of thing.
Yeah, or like having a big accessory robot like what's his name? God Bomber.
See, like that. I think if you sold this more as the idea of a 2-pack, which you could argue Skylinks is, because he's Sky and Lynx. If you did that, that would also be something where you go, oh yeah, I can see the value because I'm getting 2 robots. It's like I'm getting my Voyager, and I get this maybe hollow kind of iffy thing, but it's its own robot and it holds together and it looks kind of interesting, even though it's not. I suppose that me saying it's not G1 is the reason why it didn't happen or wouldn't happen.
Yeah, but like
it would be something, wouldn't it?
If you did it like that, you don't have to interfere in the G1 nature of the core figure either.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, you could have done an armor up for him, or you could have done this extra little mech friend, or whatever, and you wouldn't have to compromise the fact that your base robot mode looks fairly like the toy you want it to be. It's not perfect. It looks more Studio Ox to me in terms of, like, the spoiler in the face, but... Also, and I think a problem here, that the toy itself is not new engineering. It's not a case of a lot of the money that you're paying is for the new engineering of this figure. This is to the point where people thought it was an upscale.
Didn't you tell me that your idea, or maybe not your idea, but you heard that the idea might be that we're not going to get any more Titan class figures?
Yeah,
obviously because we're done them all, and we're going to get more commanders.
Yeah, 2 commanders every year was the rumor I was hearing because I think they were selling better. Presumably we're still getting the Arc and all that, but
sure.
At least I hope I do. I like that design, but a lot of wins gone out because I mean, what are we going to get? Are we going to get original? Like, because we don't know what's coming after Kingdom. We don't know if they're going stylized again. We don't know if they're trying to do Generations, but for maybe a different line. I don't think they'll stick with Beast Wars. Like, some people saying, like, oh, all the Beast Wars characters coming after Kingdom, and just like, I think this is it.
I'd be surprised if they do a lot. I'd be happily surprised if they did more.
Yes,
but
I'd love a complete redesign of the Dinobot 2 toy, because that's a design I love that kind of got fucked over in the toy department.
Yeah, because of the time it came out, and then no one else has ever touched it, unfortunately. But no, I would I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to see, like, again, I think we've said before, like, Beast Machines and that stuff get a look in, but I'd be surprised. I think our horror, Mikey, is that we're just going to go back to more G1, which I think is the logical assumption. If I was to hedge your bet and throw down money, I think that's probably what's going to happen.
I mean, I'd love for them to start referencing other generations. If they want to start doing, like, generation with joined but with other generations, I'll honestly accept that, because those are characters that we haven't gotten touched. Like, I don't know, if only they had a toy design for Armada Prime somewhere.
But I mean, that like we said, I think again last week, that might be a thing that's happening.
Yeah, because we don't know.
Know.
John Warden has moved on, so we don't know what because, like, Kingdom is the last John Warden line as far as we know. What's the design ethos going forward? Yeah. But anyway, I've gone on about this long enough. And again, I'm not, like, having a go at you if you genuinely like this, because it's your decision how to spend your money. But as a guy with a very small modicum of influence, I cannot use that influence to say go buy this toy. I can say, like, I can't justify the price. If you can, because it's an individual choice, fair play to you. But I do say maybe blink it. Don't respond to someone who says, like, they don't see the money. Remember, if you can afford it, it's one thing, and if you have to be a lot more cagey with your spending, it's another.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So, anyway, get me out of here before I complain. Oh, there's other things here. There's a picture of Maverick and a Revenge of the Fallen Bumblebee that we saw.
No one cares
ago.
About them.
No one cares about you, Maverick. Take me on to something happy, Andy.
Yes, this isn't a real surprise, but we get the images of Generation Select G2 Ramjet. We saw hints of rumors about this a week, 2 weeks, a month ago, something like that. So here it is. What is it? It's exactly what you would think. It's the G2 Ramjet toy, but it's the Ramjet toy from the new line, or the last line, Earthrise stuff, into the G2 colors. It's going to run you $30 apparently, and it's coming out at the end of August this year, unless it gets pushed back for reasons. I think it looks like exactly what you expect a G2 Ramjet to look like. What about you, Mikey?
Yeah, looks like Ramjet, and I like him in the G2 colors. So, yeah. I mean, I really wish that we were getting that Action Master Thundercracker, but I guess my
down the line.
Maybe that would be nice. Selects, do me that. Like, you don't like. It's a Seeker mold. You always want to use the Seeker mold for everything. Come on.
You're obsessed with it. Yeah, totally.
But and like, yeah, it looks good in these colors. I think the face looks really good in these colors, actually. But I will say they do kind of, because of a lot more color breakup than in regular Ramjet, it does kind of make his legs look mildly chunkily hilarious.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah.
But no, like, it's fun, and it's like, it's very G2, and it's got the word Ramjet on the side of it, so you can't hate it.
No, I agree. If they wanted to go a little bit crazy with it, I'm not saying that they should have, but they could have maybe done a little voice box with them as well. Yeah, but I think that's probably a bit too much to ask for. It's more of a, it would be nice.
Only if it says Megatron attacks.
Oh, that'd be weird. That'd be weird. But there you go. Mikey, do you want to take us on to news? Yes, so this is the bit I mentioned that we should throw in, and it has been officially launched this week, Hasbro Pulse UK. So this is Hasbro Pulse's UK store, which is mildly hilarious in the old timing, given UK is now this wonderful little economic island. I'm mocking because it's not funny. I have to pay more to get stuff out of your stupid country. So yeah, this is we've been waiting on this for a couple of years now, and this is the Hasbro Pulse store. It has various Transformers figures and other brands: Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters, Marvel, and Star Wars. Now I will say Power Rangers, Ghostbusters, Marvel, and G.I. Joe, not the biggest selection of toys there. No.
The big ones are Star Wars and Transformers. In terms of what figures are available on there, I just want, because
do you mean when you say available, do you mean available now or were available?
Available like right now for pre-order or for buy. Okay. Mostly the buy is Kingdom, but selects are up there. You've got Ramjet is up there for £33, and holy crap, I didn't realize it was going to cost this much. Generations Expanse, Ultimate Expanse for £75.
Who?
The X-Man one.
Oh, how much? 75?
75.
Wow, suck a penis, Jesus.
Yeah. Also, Ectotron's up there for 43.
All right, I think that's about right, isn't it?
That's less crazy. The Retro Headmasters are all up there for 22. Yeah, I think it's actually a decent price. Yeah. We've also got like Studio Series and stuff like that. Pre-order is up there for the Bumblebee Masterpiece movie Optimus, 125, but that toy looks bad, so no. Yeah, so I'm just scrolling through to see if anyone else leaps out, because the rest of it's just Kingdom and Standard Studio Series. So yeah, none of the old selects. Oh, Deep Cover's up there as well for the side swipe for 22. Which some people are saying he might be in blue for the Netflix line, I think.
Yes, yeah, he is. Yeah, that was on the thing. I didn't want to talk about it because there was nothing really to say.
But I'm just like, so there's a Select Deep Cover and now there's a Netflix Deep Cover?
I don't know.
I know. So don't expect to find older Select figures on there at all. So if you're after the G2 Megatron or something like that. This has caused an interesting response. You can also join Premium for discounts and other offers, but and free shipping, but I don't, like, you would have to be buying from this more than I would be if I'm doing it to
it doesn't seem worth it.
I think if you're buying like if you buy a lot of Transformers or a lot of action figures and they're like these lines and you buy very regularly, I think free shipping is worth the 20 or 50 quid a year, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
But if you're not, if you're just buying sporadically, you're fine.
I think that's only really worth it for like the exclusives, though, right? Because if you
Yeah.
spend over, what is it, 30 or 40 quid at Smith's online, it's free shipping anyway.
Yeah,
So it's like,
and you'll get early access to exclusives in theory. I know there was some problems with that over in America. And there's other offers and competitions and stuff, but I couldn't find much information on them. Now, something that was kind of interesting is that some people started wondering, oh my god, how are online retailers going to handle this?
fine.
Because
they won't mind.
they'll be fine. Now, there's going to be cases of them not get. Oh my god, how will we get hold of these exclusives that we used to make a big market on? And just like you'll do what Big Bad does, you'll buy off Hasbro. Hasbro will run out of stuff, and then you'll have their stock. That's what Big Bad does. That's what if Kapow had any sense they would do going forward. You'll all be fine. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure we mentioned it because it's a big enough deal, really. But yeah, so if you're in the UK, keep an eye out. If you're in the EU, there are ways of getting UK shipping addresses, so you can take advantage of some of this. So I've got one, so whatever for when I buy off UK stuff. But no, I think it's neat. I'm not super excited by it because there's nothing on there I really want that I can't get in this country if I do need to pick it up. But I think overall it's neat. Also, G.I. Joe Selects is up there if you want them.
Yeah, someone was Barricade 64 was very nice to let me know. And by the time I found out, it was already gone.
You mean the Trooper?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna buy it, and honestly, I was looking at it and just like I could. That's cheap. I could probably pre-order that.
Yeah. And
then I was just like, because I just really like that one guy from the Devil's Due comic.
Oh, yeah.
And you know me, that's kind of my big thing. Find me the weirdness. And I was just like, and it's on pre-order. Wow, sold out. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hey, the troop builder once again just vanishes. What a shock. Yeah. I was really annoyed. I was like, isn't this typical?
Well, if someone bought it and doesn't like it, Andy will trade his Pimp Daddy Destro for it.
Will I?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You told me beforehand.
I probably did. I don't remember doing that, but I probably did.
I mean, you'd love to... I mean, it's only Pimp Daddy Destro.
I like Pimp Daddy Destro, though. He's neat.
He's the only Destro toy I've ever wanted in my entire life.
Oh, poor Destro.
Yeah, I don't care about Destro.
Oh,
I don't care about
G.I. Joe. Yeah. So.
There's just not been enough media, I'm afraid, that I give a shit about. But
I mean, that's fair. That is fair.
But yeah, I'll take this as well because it's nice and quick. Transformers 7 to film in Canada? ? So Mel Studio in French Canada, the only Canada in the land.
The other Canada is hardly
Canada. If you lived over there, you'd understand. So in downtown Montreal, we'll probably host at least some of the filming of the next Transformers film, Transformers 7, except it's not really because let's all accept the numbering system. This has been borked. It has been borked as nothing has been borked. So yeah, apparently it will happen on stage 3.
Oh my god.
That's
better than stage 2.
Yeah. And it's got a pedigree because it also was used for principal photographer for Jack Ryan, Pet Sematary, and the best superhero film ever made.
Which one?
X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Well, to be fair, it doesn't really fucking matter what stage a film is done on. It doesn't affect the film at all. It's such a weird statement to make.
I like the idea that after Dark Phoenix, they had to bring in COVID safety protocols.
Well, they didn't burn it down, so that was something at least.
Maybe they should have. It's like those stages where those theaters where you can't play Macbeth.
Oh yes, you can't even say the name. That's right.
So you have to say the terrible movie, and everyone knows.
But they won't because there's so many terrible movies. Many.
Hey, there's a lot of Scottish plays, but if you say Scottish play, people know what you're talking about.
That is true. It is a meme, an old-timey meme, I suppose.
So hope everything goes well there, eh?
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the idea of another live-action Transformers movie, but
I'm fine with one that's not Michael Bay, and like people have room to make one.
My issue is the current kind of popcorn movie of today is not great, I would say.
I'm trying to think what the last popcorn movie I saw was. Godzilla
for you, probably.
Andy, that was like 2 years ago. I've seen something, and I like Godzilla a lot. That's a bad example.
It's still popcorn, though.
I know, but it's still... That's like saying, oh, popcorn. Tasty, tasty popcorn!
Mm-hmm.
like with not that horrible buttered stuff you weirdos use.
Yeah, I don't like it when people put butter on popcorn.
Like,
That's weird.
You're talking about the buttered popcorn movies, and I can't remember the last time I saw one because every time I see one advertised, I refuse to go see it now. Because again, I can't pay for everything anymore, so no.
Well, you've got Godzilla coming up soon, so that's something.
Yes, for home. That's been confirmed for home release. So, for basically the same price as a ticket and driving to the cinema from here. So, it's no more expensive. So, please don't suck. Please, and all you have to do is have the monkey hit the lizard, and I'll be happy.
Competently hit the lizard.
Yes, I'd like some choreography.
And vice versa. Yeah.
And maybe have, like, if Godzilla can do a pirouette, that would be nice too.
Oh, alright, okay. Now we're getting into it.
As long as it's not like that one Godzilla movie where Anguirus and Godzilla got speech bubbles. Which was the Gigan movie.
That's
was it Gigan
weird.
or Megalon? Might have been one of them. No, I think it might have been Megalon. And they're just like, they're swimming away and they have little speech bubbles because it was the end of the show era and no one gave a shit.
Oh. What a time.
Andy.
Yes.
Take us on.
Yeah, I'll take the last two stories because they're fairly quick. We get the first look of the Netflix war for Cybertron Wave 3 Voyager, the Sparkless Seeker, and Optimus Primal and the Rat Trap. We'll talk about the Optimus Primal and the Rat Trap. There is very, very little difference between them in the official release, as far as I can tell. The Rat Trap has a little white bit on the front of his nose in rat mode. He's not really coloured. He looks like he's coloured in a slightly darker shade for the grey and a slightly lighter shade for his, like, in quotations, coppery colour. Primal just looks a bit darker in terms of his colour scheme, but again, not a huge amount of difference there at all, unless I'm mistaken. Very uninspired, I would say.
Yes, not exciting. I suppose we can say they're probably in the show, but...
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. There is, again, the assumption that the completely TV show version of Megatron's color scheme is going to end up here, but maybe not. Maybe it's not going to look like that, I suppose.
Having seen this, are we really excited for a completely TV show version of Megatron?
Well, that's the thing, yeah, because
here's Megatron.
Go for a darker color,
slightly darker shade of purple.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. We'll wait and see, I suppose. And yeah, the Sparkless is just a poopy green color.
I'd say military camo.
Yeah, with brown splodges here and there on him. Looks kind of dull to me, at least.
Yeah, he's got it's weird. He's got the battle damage vibe, but it's not the usual pattern for the Seeker mold.
No.
So that's nice. He actually looks a bit cleaner than the standard Seeker. But...
Yeah, I think that the Sparkless Deluxe figure that we saw is out now for Wave 2 or whatever it is.
The
looks more intricate, even though the arms and the legs, like the grey parts on it, are like stark black, just devoid of colour compared to the chest, which has all the rust detail on it. It also comes with the Sparkless Singe and the Sparkless Caliburst, which are, again, kind of just drab colours, so...
Yeah.
I can't say he's desperately exciting. Mikey, would you agree or disagree?
No, I'm amused by the amount of people who keep on showing pictures of him next to Prime Skyquake.
Yeah, I guess it's just because Skyquake, spoilers, died, and it's like another zombie who's green, I guess. I don't know.
Skyquake didn't die, he lived on in my heart.
Oh, that's
he
nice.
Was a good boy.
He did die, though.
He was a good boy, he didn't deserve that.
He was in only one episode, so...
2, technically. I mean, he was a zombie.
Yeah, I guess. He was a zombie, yeah.
Remember his hand? His killer hand?
And the last bit of news is that me and Mikey talked about this a while ago when it was kind of at least rumored, which is the vintage Beast Wars action figure line. Mikey suggested it wasn't going to be the original figures re-released. I said it might be, and that's what it is. It turned out it was. There are some minor paint differences from the original release. The ones I kind of mainly pull on Megatron. His head's the right color, and his little... Oh no, his bat wings were always black. It's just his head was grey on the original one. There is some minor changes again with his green. Cheetor is a slightly darker blue, I think. Not sure about Primal, not sure about Rat Trap, but they're coming out again. So that's something. That's nice. How long will this line go on for?
I'd say this is it, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, also Rat Trap is now as expensive as Cheetor, and I think that's immoral.
Oh, yeah, that is kind of lame. Yeah, because Rat Trap's classed as a deluxe, which he clearly isn't. He was a basic back in the day.
He was a bitty baby.
Yeah, they say the deluxes, as in both of them, which again, as me and Mikey said, isn't the case, will be $20 each, and the leaders, which I would say, were they leaders? Yeah, technically they were.
Chunky Voyagers, I'd put them as.
No, they were leaders, because the things that were under them were Scorponok and Polar Claw.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll give you that. Those were chunky toys.
Yeah, so back in the day, this is that's what they considered the leaders to be.
Back then, weren't they?
Oh, don't ask me that. I'm not sure. You might be right, because Ultra was a class that kind of floated around a long time and then died because they didn't know what to use for it.
From them was stuff like Tigerhawk.
Yeah, and I don't think that did that have a class? I can't remember.
Transmetal 2, I think.
Probably, that was about it. Yeah, the two leaders will be $40 each, basically. Like Mikey says, maybe there'll be more, but I wouldn't really count on it. So,
Galvatron and Magmatron coming soon.
Yeah, I don't see that. I think if they did more, they'd just be, again, the Season 1 guys.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the last time we got vintage reissues was the 15th anniversary line, which was... who was the 15th anniversary? It was Tarantulas. It was Transmetal 1 Rat Trap.
Dinobot.
What Dinobot was it? Was it just normal Dinobot?
Dinobot, normal, but he was in really dark colors.
Okay, and there was... Rhinox. I think that was it, wasn't it? It was just the four?
And these two.
What do you mean, these two?
Optimus Primal and Megatron had new releases. I think they had new head sculpts.
No, they were completely new. They were completely new figures.
No, not them. Not those ones. Not the ones that got released under Cybertron. I mean, these two got released with new head sculpts.
Oh, yeah, that was for the...
Show accurate ones.
That was for the 10th anniversary Japanese release, because I've got that box set, and they came with a CD. It's actually quite a nice little box set.
Yeah, the Televicon kind of thing.
Yeah. So, like we say, don't expect any more of these, but it's nice that they're coming out. Yeah. It'd be nice if more came out, but, you know.
I'm a little disappointed it's 3 Maximals and a Predacon. I would stuck in Waspinator, or if you wanted to go with, like, someone smaller, Pterosaur.
But Mikey, we both know that this is Japan and we don't sell villains here.
No, it's not. It's Walmart.
What do you mean?
It's Walmart.
Walmart-kun. In Nihongo wa desu ka?
Yes. The classic Japanese state of Florida.
That's right.
Or they call it over there, Florideo.
Wow. Florideo. Were you doing a Floridiri thing?
I am now.
Okay, fair.
You made me cleverer, so yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So that's it. That's all of our news, Mikey. Yeah. What you been up to this week? What you done for fun?
Not a super ton, to be honest. So working, like I mentioned last time, I'd started working on the custom of the G1 Prime Flame Toys into Nova. So I've got the head, the right arm, and the torso done. Pictures of that are up on Twitter and Facebook and other places if you know me. However, I ran out of primer on Tuesday, so I had to stop. So I've ordered more primer, and it should be here on Monday.
Good.
So I will get back to work. I've been really enjoying it, to be completely honest. I need a lot more alligator clips because doing it 6 pieces at a time is rather ridiculous. But so I think for the next one I'll be a wee bit better prepared. Whatever the next one is. But it's been a really enjoyable experience learning how to use the different paints and how to apply the primer properly and how to, like, I've been lucky I haven't had to do a lot of filing or sanding afterwards. And I'm thinking, like, if I do a follow-up on anything, it'll be like, okay, now I put more effort into, say, masking and doing extra details and things like that. I've also learned that for some god-awful reason, the white I have hates me.
Well, it's Tamiya, isn't it?
Tamiya, so I'm using Tamiya spray paints. So most of them are fine. And I thought it was because, like, most of them are aircraft paints, right? And the orange and the white are both listed as just Tamiya plastic paints. The orange works perfectly fine, and the white, if you so what I've been doing is, like, you'll do a quick spray and you might do another quick spray to cover up little bits and bobs and leave it for a while and do another coat, whatever. The white, you basically have to go 1 spritz. 0 anything else. It can't cover anything twice, and just keep doing that until you got the whole thing covered. Because if you put on more, it will drip and droop, and it will flow too much, and it's really
very
prone
thin.
Yeah, it's really prone to chipping. And like I've top coated and everything else, and like it's fine once it's done. And I certainly am not going to go back and make any major changes on this guy for a long time, because I'm kind of I like the idea of having like this was the raw deal, so to speak. But yeah, I'm going when I get started again. I'm going to take my time with the arms and the legs, or the arm and the legs, and hopefully by the next week I will have a nice little Nova Prime finished to put forward to the masses and be judged upon. Apart from that, I didn't watch a whole ton this week just because of work and tiredness and generalness. But ReZero, of course, watched that. That was, again, quite big. It had some stuff with Amelia, her final bit of the trial, including having her spend some time with one of the other witches because Echidna doesn't want to talk to her anymore. Which and also, it's kind of all but confirmed what Amelia's connection is to Satella, finally. Although I'm suspecting it's more complicated than they're letting on, but like there is kind of a big like, we're not saying this is what it is, but we're really saying that this is what it is. So like basically the witches, why it would make sense as well why Echidna would hate her because of this. But at the moment it's not looking like she is Satella, but I'm still predicting at some point she will somehow become Satella. But as far as the show is concerned right now, she has a connection to her, but not is her. But a lot of this is combat based. This is like taking place in the mansion. So you've got Subaru and a few of them versus the evil magic beast things, and then you've got one big fight scene between Garfield and Elsa, the horrible brooding intestine lady. Including one fight bit where they basically just start biting each other, and it's so clearly framed like a sex scene. Including like that bit where you cut to their legs and they're like lightly brushing off each other, except you cut back to the head and they're trying to rip each other's necks out. Like, but yeah, really great animation, really great action in this one. Yeah, no, it's really, really, really fun. I'm avoiding spoilers for how any of this is resolving, because if you know the show, Elsa ain't going down easy with no one, shall we say. So I'm not telling anyone how that ends, but it ends in a really cool way, and Subaru is really awesome. It turns out the best show on TV right now is still the best show on TV.
Oh, wow.
Watch
Attack
a bit more.
on Titan. Wow.
Fuck it, and the horse it rode in on. There's a show we can do one day. Why I hate Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Because it doesn't know what genre it wants to be and thinks it's clever when it's dumb.
Wow.
Sorry, that's a rant. And I've had enough of those today.
I don't believe that.
Watched more of the comedy about the dungeon one. That was funny. Building up a little bit of plot stuff, but just mostly just good fun. Watched Back Arrow, which was very dark, and it had some real kind of creepy imagery in it, and then ended on a positive note. But I'm just like, I'm really getting into this series. I'm really, really getting into this series. Also, new episode of Ruby.
It's over?
Oh god, weeks and weeks. It's gone for 20-something episodes.
Oh, okay.
It's only episode 9 or 10 now, I think.
Because I hear that the Jobless Hero thing's coming to an end soon, because it's meant to only be 30 episodes, is that right?
13. It's multiple
13,
seasons,
sorry.
though. It's confirmed it's going to have multiple seasons.
Okay, but is it going to be like ReZero, where this is like part 1 of the season, and then we're going to get part 2 later on?
No. It's as far as I know, it's designed to be like you get 13 episodes. We take a core or 2 off, you get another 13 episodes.
Okay, bummer.
Like, it's not a case like ReZero where they basically had to stop production halfway through.
Yeah, I was hoping it was the case because I wanted more of it, because I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, it's a good show. I'm a few episodes behind now because I watched what I had on Funimation, I think, and then Jai said they haven't subbed all the episodes.
Okay.
So I must be missing a few. But last major thing I did, because no games really this week. I'm kind of in that wonderful world of that post. I finished an incredible game, and now I'm like, what do I do now?
You play another one.
But Ruby, new episode of Ruby, which was excellent. Had some really, really cool stuff. Good fight scenes. Good character stuff from Penny in it, the little robot girl. And yeah, introduced a new character who was really fun, and also ended on like, yay, we're all having fun, and this bitch is still alive.
Oh no.
But yeah, which, interestingly enough, like starting last night, I ended up going back instead of rewatching Ruby from the start. Because I really, really dig what they're doing with this season. I think it's like, as someone who thinks the show basically has been on a high since like season 3 or 4. I really like what they've been doing this season. I was very curious to go back and like, it is jarring in many ways, like not just the animation, but like the tone of the writing and everything else. It is so jarring to go back to the early stuff.
Right.
They were so clearly less confident about what they were doing, and we're just like, we can do really good fight choreography even with like cheap animation, so we're not really going to try to be brave or interesting with the writing.
Oh no.
We're laying a few groundworks, we're laying a few ideas, characters are light but enjoyable, and then season 2 that you can notice a little bit of a jump in the animation, but writing is getting a little bit braver, and then season 3 comes around and they're into a tournament arc, but you also, because I'm looking back at it with hindsight, I know that it's going to end in the kind of writing you're going to start getting. And like, I know for a fact, like season 4, there is such a huge jump in animation quality. Like, apples and oranges, like it's an enormous jump. So it's still very strange to see like these really competently done fight scenes with this really low key animation. It's an interesting little historical exercise. Plus, I like the Ruby story, so it's nice to re-engage with it. Yeah, that was really me. Not major. What about you, Andy?
What have I done? I've been watching stuff. I caught up today. I think there was 2 episodes of Jobless Incarnation. That's a very good show. I think I'm on episode 10 or something like that. So that'll give you an idea of where you should be up to, Mr. Mikey.
Okay.
Or how far you are behind, I guess. It's very good, very enjoyable. It feels like the plot's kicking in now, and things are starting to we have an objective now, where we kind of haven't had one. We've just had live life, enjoy, and now we have an objective.
Worship the underwear?
Yes. This isn't a spoiler. For his birthday, the maid sends him a present. We don't get to see what the present is, but she says it's something I'm sure he'll treasure, and my assumption is it's a pair of her own panties, which I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Or did she like send him the original pair of panties that he's been worshipping for years?
I don't know.
Maybe because like remember, he didn't get to, like, he got the shit knocked out of him and then got kicked into a cart.
Yes.
So I think, going by that line of thinking, I think she just sent him the holy pair.
It might be. I don't know. Like I say, we don't find out what the gift was, because circumstances happen. But that is my assumption because of the, what he really cares about. At least what she knows that he really cares about. And it would be kind of funny and really fucking cringy as well if she sent him a pair of her own panties. It'd be oh no. Oh. But no, it's really good. I don't want to spoil it because it's a good show. So you can go watch it, Mr. Mikey. I'm again up to date on So My Spider So What? I'm a little bit confused once again on the timeline. I have, because it feels like the spider stuff might be happening 15 years ago. But maybe it's not. I don't know. I think the spider stuff is happening 15 years ago, and the stuff at the school is, in quotations, the present day. But again, I'm not entirely sure, because there's a sequence where it almost suggests that, when the spider has her lair set on fire and the big dragon stolen from there, that might be earlier than 15 years ago.
So, like, she got reincarnated, like, earlier in the timeline than everyone else?
Yeah, I think the implication might be that when she goes, or previously at least, when she's gone into evolution egg mode, that time passes, and it actually takes a while for her to poop out again, but I'm not entirely sure. Like I say, there's still this really weird jump that you know about from jumping between the school and the human sequences back to the dungeon sequences. It still feels very jarring between the two. I'm hoping that'll sort itself out at some point, but still it's enjoyable, but it's nothing special. But it is enjoyable enough. I watched Aquaman this week, Mikey, the movie.
I was gonna say, like, Aquaman the TV show, and I was just like, there isn't one of those for me to play off of.
No, thankfully. Well, actually, no, there might be a cartoon one day that looks awful. Right?
Who knows? Who cares?
Yeah,
I don't. I'm not paying attention to that. That looks like Rick and Morty, and we all know how I feel about that.
Yeah. So Aquaman, the live-action movie, is not a good film at all. It has many, many issues, but it was somewhat enjoyable.
I think it's the most fun I had in a DC movie before Shazam.
I mean, like I said to you before, it's not a high bar, but it's true at the very least. And I would still say that Shazam isn't a great film, but at least it's fun. It's entertaining enough. I wouldn't say, like, if I was going to give Shazam like a score out of 10, I'd probably give it a 6. If I was going to give Aquaman a score, it'd probably be maybe a 5. Because there's some fucking stupid shit in that film. There's some real dumb stuff. I tell you what I didn't like. One thing specifically, like them walking through Italy having a romance.
Oh, yeah!
It felt really off, and the humor between the two of them, from going from the Sahara Desert to that, again, felt really off and weird. Like, it felt super forced. Like, it didn't feel like the same film that they were just doing. Them trying to get you to care about Black Manta in the first part of the movie, after him and his dad kill a load of innocent people and admit that they're pirates who have killed a lot of people, to, like, his dad shooting a grenade at Aquaman twice and trapping himself and being like, you should save him. Why?
Because
you know what you did?
That good guy.
They played Aquaman doing this off as a bad thing, Mikey, but you remember what Batman did in
murdered
Batman
a lot of people.
Begins. in Batman Begins, where Raz or Raish, depending on how you like to say it. I like to say Raz because it's Razzle Medazzle. Razzle Al Ghul Batman goes, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't need to save you. Same idea.
That was bad too, but everyone pretends it was good.
What? They left him to die. I would.
He did kill him.
What do you mean?
Like, I know he's I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you either. It's just like, so you are choosing to let him die. Yes. So you are choosing to kill him.
But he's not killing him directly.
Oh, good. No, it's killing him. Because also, I would even argue directly, because he is directly responsible for him not getting off that train.
How is he responsible for him not getting off the train? Because
he had no other way off the train but Batman.
That's not his fault.
It is, because he said, I'm going to leave you to die.
No, he didn't say he was going to leave him to die. He just said he wasn't going to save him.
Which translates, you may not believe it, but translates into, go and die, motherfucker.
I see it more of instead of a go and die, motherfucker, I see it more of a shrug and go, eh.
Well, you didn't see it. He was going out like he was going out of the plane. You just saw him going like da 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 da.
Well, he's like dancing on another train next to it. That's really safe.
I'm on a train. You know what this train is doing? Not hitting a building.
I think, to be fair, if I was Batman, I would be able to feel fairly moral about that choice and fairly okay about letting him die.
And be like, well, Kevin Conroy would have tried.
What's that?
Kevin Conroy would have tried.
Yeah. To be fair though, I don't think he would have got in that situation to begin with.
Well, no, he was
the problem with movie Batman are they're not really detectives or smart.
Yes, no, they are brutal killing machines.
Yeah, for the most part. But no, Aquaman. They tried to make it out like leaving the horrible murdering pirate to die was a bad thing, a bad moral call. And I'm sat there going,
well, I am trying to save people in this boat, and you keep killing people. Yep. I'm going to leave now and help them.
Yeah, he even beat up his dad, and picked up a pole, stabbed him through the arm, so specifically wouldn't kill him, and said, well, I'm gonna go now, you should leave too. And then his dad shoots him with a grenade for a second time.
And
traps himself. No,
he's a dick.
No, and then he's like, I have a blood vengeance against Aquaman because this was clearly your fault. It's like, no, it wasn't his fault. Technically, it was you and your dad's fault. It's so strange. Here's another thing. You remember how it's basically established that knives can't hurt Aquaman unless they are from Atlantis?
Yeah.
The knife that his dad gives Black Manta...
Yeah.
Is that meant to be made from Atlantean metal?
I'm assuming after he made the Atlantean suit, everything got upgraded, or at least we're supposed to pretend that's happened and ignore that. So
he reforged the knife?
Yeah, sure.
Because that's not really talked about.
It's
also the fact that the Ocean Master gives him the gun and
Yep.
he looks at the gun and says, "I can turn that into a helmet."
Yeah.
Did you I remember thinking to myself when I watched that sequence, I was like, so those elite guards that he was given,
Yep.
are they just stood outside waiting for him to make the suit?
Yep.
How long did it take for him to make the suit? Like a day?
Probably weeks.
It should have been weeks. It should have taken ages figuring out how Atlantean tech works.
Yeah, but you didn't say he had that. He had a YouTube video.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the cosplay video is like, oh, right, okay, just slap it together.
This is what Black Manta looks
like.
like.
There was weird goo in the gun, and he was just like, yeah, I probably don't need the goo.
I'll lick this.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it was low credit, but it was. I still had that moment I was watching it, and he came out, and I was just like, oh, he does look like Black Manta.
Yes, no, I will give it that. that looked very good. But where did Aquaman get his suit, Mikey?
From Mary Poppins.
For those who's not aware, Aquaman gets his trident, doesn't beat up the giant not octopus thing.
Mary Poppins.
And then he just comes out of the waterfall with the Aquaman suit on. And I remember sitting there going, but where did he get it?
Magic, Andy. It's a magic stick.
Yeah, but did the suit... So the staff made his outfit?
Yes, the magic stick guarded by Octopus Mary Poppins made it. Why is this the thing you got?
So, does that mean, does it have a range on it? So if he walks too far away from the stick, does his clothes disappear?
Only if you're a lady who wants to watch it.
What?
Mira just keeps stealing it and leaving it places.
His mum also did not age.
Well, no,
or did not age
lady.
Much.
She's a fish lady.
She's
a magic talking fish lady, Andy.
What? I will give it another credit. Willem Dafoe, not the villain. My expectations were subverted. I was like, what? He's not the villain?
I did enjoy that. Where you're just like, William Dafoe, the bad guy. Who could have foreseen?
Yeah, I was sure he was, because he seemed evil. He was in the mentor role for Aquaman.
No, you just assumed he was evil because he was William Dafoe. You made an assumption.
I did, and again, because he was in that role of the mentor, and usually in these stories, the mentor character is also the villain.
But then he had that wonderful line delivery at the end, like, the king has risen. I nearly wet myself when I first saw that. As Aquaman riding in on a gigantic kaiju is murdering everyone. Regardless of side.
Yeah. Aquaman is there to take command and rule his kingdom by murdering everyone. I love the fact as well that he commands the trench ones. He has the spear. It's like, fuck him. It's like, what do you mean, fuck him? He has the thing that you're literally meant to bow down to. He also has a giant kraken thing. I mean, no, I'm done. He's also controlling all the fish. I love the fact that he used, dolphins and squids. Okay, the sharks, fair enough for attack things. But, dolphins for killing people.
As missiles.
Yeah, as missiles.
How dead are those dolphins?
They're smushed. There were so many dead animals at the end of Aquaman.
It should have just been he's standing there with his lady love, and the Kraken thing is roaring in the background, and just all around him, these dead fish and dolphins floating.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking? You know how at the end they're like, oh, there's all this weird, Atlantean tech washing up on the beaches. It should have also been why are there so many dead whales and dolphins? What are all these dead things? Why are there giant dead seahorses? What is this?
Why is there a lizard? Why was there a lizard?
I don't know. It's so weird.
Ocean Master's amazing facial effects.
Oh, yeah. I did kind of like that. I thought it was nice that they tried to keep to the Ocean Master look.
He did look like Ocean Master.
Yes. It didn't look good in live action for obvious reasons, but he did scream a lot.
He did.
A lot. I think he screamed, just for no purpose, 4 or 5 times in that film. Okay. Fair enough.
but do you see the connection, Andy? He should have saved the evil pirate dad. Right? And he did kind of save Ocean Master by not murdering him. And then saying, you and me were brothers and we can have, a bro talk.
I think it was different though. It felt like a different. It's not apples and
It
apples.
feels like a different movie, to be honest.
Well, no, I think like that example is apples to apples. Like it was a duel, it was a combat, and Ocean Master didn't fire a grenade at him twice, and Ocean Master actually had decent beef with him.
Ocean Master decent beef. Also, during a military conflict, Aquaman had murdered thousands of his soldiers.
Yeah.
And thousands of the other soldiers as well, who were cheering him on. And because a gigantic monster exploded out of the ground that the crab people who can't swim were standing on.
And I mean, is Ocean Master in the wrong for wanting to destroy the surface world?
I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I mean...
From his perspective.
Yeah.
From the perspective of someone who lives in the sea, and it's like they showed all this like pollution and like dead animals and fishing and stuff, you go, I don't know, I can see why the Atlanteans would be a little bit pissed.
Yeah, but Andy, like, a guy decided to claim leadership
out of nowhere, who has no training.
While Dolph Lundgren looked on.
I did like Dolph Lundgren being in there. He made me smile.
Yes, with his red beard. And he showed up and said, like, I rule you all. And they said, no, you don't. And I said, my big monster and the lava spewing from her soul says yes. Yep. Also, here's a whale to the face.
Yep.
Also, I've murdered all your friends and comrades. You will now obey me. Mm-hmm. Which is, there's got to be some dissonance in that military afterwards. Just like, why am I obeying the man who killed Jerry? Jerry
he has hurt the anyone. Trident.
He has a big stick.
Oh, there's so many
Is
problems.
He trained in military thinking? No. Does he know how to rule an economy? No. Why is he king? He has a stick.
I love the fact that even he says, like, I'm not qualified to be the king, and isn't it, like, Mira who says, like, yes, you are, or something, but doesn't give any good reason for it?
Yeah, yes, you are. Why? You're kind of hot.
Wasn't it just because, like, you were the daughter of the queen, and that's pretty much it?
Which doesn't work. Like, this is the thing. Like, one of the reasons, like, a lot of bastard children in the history didn't get offered, like, kingships and stuff like that, even though, like, they could be used, like, as a political tool. They didn't get to say, like, oh, you are legitimately able to rule. Is it like they were not taught how to?
No, and that's really, surprisingly, it's pretty important.
Yeah, like, basic things like what are taxes?
Yeah.
So
how does anything work? Because it's not even like even like the bastard child example, they live in that world. They understand how the existence in that world works. Aquaman's been to Atlantis for
half an hour?
I'd give it a bit longer because he was captured. So I'd say like 4 hours. I'd say 4 hours. And even then, he was in a prison cell or in chains most of the time. So he's got no fucking idea how the entire world works. Mikey.
Yes.
Do you remember the cannons on top of the walls to get into Atlantis?
Yes.
Why were they pointing inside the city? Why were the cannons pointed inside the city so they could shoot Aquaman as he was escaping?
Well, Ocean Master is a bad leader.
Okay.
And has to put down dissonance within his own people, thereby creating... see, this is actually clever thinking that they did here, Andy. Thereby creating a revolutionary undercurrent in the common Atlantean people, which means that they would accept a new king,
right?
If he came forward and said, I'm turning the guns pointing outwards. Also, my monster will do basically the same job as them, but 10 times worse. But also, I accidentally may have killed all your fathers and brothers and sisters and mothers who went to war.
I did think it was weird. Those giant cannons aimed inside the city to fire on one ship clearly would have hit some buildings in there and killed a lot of people. But never mind, we need the action sequence. Like I say, pretty stupid film, but very in keeping with the DC universe and films. But it was more fun than a lot of them, I suppose. So that was something I did this week. What a silly film. I really look forward to EFAP talking about it, because I'm sure they will pull the movie apart even more brutal than I will, because they're very good at that, and I'm sure I will giggle quite a lot at their like probably 6-hour discussion on it, I'm sure.
They die inside and out.
Oh, yeah. There'll be a lot of questions asked, and there'll be a lot of questions about the continuity of the DC universe as well as they progress, because there are some issues, Mikey, which I'm sure you know. I don't need to tell you that.
Like, really, it's not like they're doing an entire movie to give them an out for all of that now, is it?
Oof. Who knows?
We're going to do a Flash movie. What's the first thing we're going to do? Flashpoint!
Oh, God. I forgot about that. Is that still happening?
That's what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah, 2022 it's supposed to be out. But, well, then again, it's been reset so many times. But I just love the fact, like, okay, we need an out. We need an out. We need an out.
Yeah, you need to fix it.
Yeah,
I think they're probably waiting to see how the Snyder Cut does as well, to be honest.
Yes. Yeah, well, like, God, the amount of rumors, like, what movies are coming out now.
Yeah.
It's just, like, so... Oof. I'd love if they did, like, we're gonna keep our reboot idea, but we're still going to do other movies, like, set in this, and it's gonna be Elseworlds.
Yeah.
And I'll laugh.
It's weird that, like, they're gonna wait to see how the Snyder Cut does, because that might mean if the Snyder Cut does incredibly well, they'll get Zack Snyder back to do more. And there's me sitting here. I know there are a lot of people who are very happy about the idea about that, and there's me sitting here going, "Please God, I'm glad he gets to finish the movie he made, but no more Zack Snyder films. Please, no more. I'm begging you. I can't handle any more Zack Snyder films."
I had a conversation about that today.
Did you, about the Zack Snyder films?
Interesting.
What did you talk about Zack Snyder?
But yeah, I don't Lex Luthor actually, but I don't like any Zack Snyder film that he's ever done.
No,
so
I know. No,
and I've tried once or twice because they did something I wanted to like, but like Sucker Punch, I wanted to like Sucker Punch so bad.
Yeah.
But no,
I guess Watchmen was okay. I guess it was okay.
It didn't have a squid like the comics did.
Yeah. See, I don't mind that for the comic. I think that was a fine change to make for a movie. Rorschach was really good, but that's not really Zack Snyder. So that's the man. That's the actor who did a good job. Yeah,
didn't do a lot after that, as far as I know.
No, he was Freddy in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which no one talks about.
I wonder why.
Yeah, Aquaman.
Aquaman, the most Aquaman of all.
Yeah, shame. Jason Momoa seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, no, he seems neat. He's he's not Karl Urban, but he seems pretty cool.
Yeah. Did I get up to anything else? Oh, I got Gundam 00 on Blu-ray, so I've been watching that. I got season 1 and 2 because it was fairly cheap on Amazon, so I grabbed it and was like, "Oh, let's watch that again." Yeah, still enjoy it. It was the first full Gundam show I watched, I think, and it came out 2007, and I was like, "Oh Jesus, no! Why?"
I watched it live.
Yeah, yeah. When I was alive inside, I watched it. But no, I'm enjoying going back over it and rewatching it again. It's a good Gundam show. It's the premise of Wing but tweaked. It's not exactly the same as Wing, obviously, but they've got elements that kind of cross over from there.
Yeah.
Anything else of value? I did a little bit of painting today and yesterday on some Warhammer stuff. Not a huge amount. And then I remember as I was painting, oh God, there was a reason why I stopped. Because I get really depressed about how things aren't coming out as quickly and as well as I want them to. But I'm gonna try and finish the things that I've got. At least I'm in the process of doing. I had to do the census again. So I had to do that, which wasn't desperate.
I'm here.
Fun. Yeah, I'm. Don't do this questionnaire. We fine you £1,000. I'm like, wow, cool.
Why are you giving it to me then?
What's that?
Why did they give it to you if they were going to fine you?
No. It's if you don't do the questionnaire.
Oh,
they fine you.
Them.
Yeah, you have to do it, otherwise they fine you.
No, that's really fucking dumb. They don't do that here. They give us a census and you can fill it out, and they just kind of round up to average out figures and stuff like that.
I think it's to ensure that you do it.
But I don't want to. It's none of your business if I'm alive or dead.
Well, then you have to pay £1,000.
I have to pay £1,000 for anonymity.
Exactly. Pretty much.
Maybe I'm dead. Maybe I'm alive. You'll never know, will you, bitch?
Well, I mean, they will, because they'll charge you, and then if you don't pay them, they'll send someone round.
They'll
find you that way.
They'll send the census heavies. We didn't want to throw off the numbers, so I'm afraid we're going to have to make you not able to pay this.
Exactly. Gonna have to break your legs. Break your wee little tiny Legos. Is there anything else? No, I think that's it, Mr. Mikey. We do have some Masasars, being messages, of course. I didn't get to cover Tentomon's message from last week, so we'll do that one and the one that they sent this week as well. So, last week's one. So, was I the only one who misheard the lyrics to the Digimon Reboot champion level fight theme as Spin to Win? This is obviously for you, Mikey, because this means nothing to me.
Yes, I would say you have, because I don't think this is Beyblade.
Okay, so you didn't mishear it either.
I mean, how do I put this? It's in Japanese. I usually just listen to the lyric, the rhythm and stuff. I don't usually pay too much attention to the words.
That's fair.
So I don't really like that theme song, if I'm honest.
Okay. Most have played too much Dota. I think he means because I've played too much Dota. Also gave OG PlayStation 1 Tomb Raider a go. It has some it has some surprising qualities, like doing sick backflips while shooting dinosaurs in the face. As soon as 3rd level, Doom Quake style secrets, and mid-level save points. Too bad about the delay in jump button. Oh god, I forgot about that. Oh,
the dinosaurs
Jesus.
always threw me off, because that felt like an Indiana Jones semi-grounded kind of thing, and I'm sort of like, here's a T-Rex. I'm just like, what?
It does, like, from what I didn't get that far in the Tomb Raiders, but I remember seeing, like, in strategy guides, that stuff. I was like, this seems weird. Because I only, for Tomb Raider 2, I only got up to the first set of traps after you kill the tigers, and then I got really fucking annoyed.
Those fucking traps.
Yeah, it was basically the first set of traps or something was a boulder starts chasing you, and then a giant pit of spikes open up below you, or something like that, and you have to jump over them. And I kept on dying on the jump.
Bloody jump button in Tomb Raider that at least until Tomb Raider 3 they never fixed. Yeah,
and that's why I never continued Tomb Raider, because I was like, no, I don't care. It was a hooky copy. It wasn't a legit. Because, hey, Mikey, back in the day, if you're a youngin', you may not know this, but like I'd say 90% of people got the PlayStation 1 chipped.
I rented everything. So.
Oh, did you? I got mine chipped, so I got like hundreds of games on hooky. I remember like my mum would bring home a list from her work because a guy did it for her. And it was just like a giant list, like 4 or 5 pages of just like games, and it's just tick what you want, she said to me, and I went tick 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 tick. And I got so many. Tomb Raider was one of them, Tomb Raider 2 was one of them, so I didn't care about finishing it, but it was super annoying. But yeah, like you say, the jump button was a pain in the ass. Oh my god. Still, you can do a lot worse for an early PlayStation 1 action game. Yeah, that's not untrue.
I mean, it was the early PlayStation 1 action game.
Yeah, it was like one of the first ones, but there were worse ones than that, to be fair.
Oh my, yes.
Anyway, keep an eye on the Switch eShop sales page. They have some crazy deals on there from time to time, like 95% off. Is it off anything good? That's the question.
I haven't been paying too much attention to the Switch sales, to be honest, but I should.
And I only have one Ethernet cable, and it's in the PC, and I can't really be faffed to slap it into Switch just to check.
I refuse to move 5 feet.
I just can't be naffed. It's just like there's no point, especially because like I don't have time to play on the Switch apart from doing the Ring Fit at the moment. I haven't used a PlayStation 4 in ages. Mainly because when I get a chance to play games, it's usually for streaming, and I don't have a capture card, so I can't play on consoles for stream.
You should play Nier again.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind actually playing Nier again. I wouldn't be against it. Fun game. The only problem is I wouldn't want to do the 9S route because it's literally, well, I mean, it's just the same bloody route again, just a bit more boring.
You can rush through.
You can. I mean, it's still a slog, but you are right. You are righto, Mr. Mikey.
Well, new Nier coming out soon, so there's all of that.
That's true. I look forward to that. But... Yeah, old Nier. Old new Nier. The second message was, so WandaVision is done, and it did stick the landing. That's not why I hear. Well, for me at least...
Because I haven't heard much about WandaVision's ending, about the fact I know that it did some comic referencey stuff.
Yeah, but they never paid off on them.
Oh, cool. Seriously, I don't know. I don't know who to believe.
No, to be fair, like, it's a live action hero thing from current Marvel. I don't care, to be honest. I mean, I don't think you do either.
I know, not really. I mean, I know like people said the appeal of this is that it's very not normal. But I was really like that sitcom thing. You have no idea how much I hate the American sitcom.
Yeah.
They're never funny, bar the few that are, and those really aren't very sitcom-y. But
yeah, I heard a lot of people say it didn't pay off what the hints were in the show.
Oh, okay.
And it did heavily hint at a lot of interesting things, which they're like, yeah, this wasn't a thing. Where did I leave up? Well, at least for me, you dude would most likely be disappointed when it goes. I think it means you specifically, because I'm not fussed about the sitcom. When it goes from silly sitcom with dark undertones to mystery, undertones and mystery to basic MCU stuff. Yeah, specifically, it does go very again, MCU stuff.
I'd be disappointed with the sitcom stuff to start off with.
You'd be disappointed with the Marvel Universe stuff as well, I think.
Yes. Let's be honest.
Cinematic universe stuff.
I have not had the kindest thing to say about it in the last few years.
No, because it's not good. I would argue.
I would argue it's lost its veneer from the early days. Would be a kind way of putting it.
Yes. But hey, I got stuff that I wanted, like White Vision. I guess
that's
spoilers. See, I know of White Vision from what was the Sega Mega Drive game? Captain America and the Avengers. And that's like, I was always confused when I saw like Vision green. I was like, but he's white. He's just pure white. He looks like a spooky ghost, and he can go through things. I didn't know he was a robot because he looked like a spooky ghost in that game.
And was called Vision, which would make you think ghost.
I don't think I even paid attention to his name, to be honest. I knew Captain America because it was. I was
introduced to Vision. I think I was introduced to Vision as a character through the 90s Avengers show.
Oh, the like Extreme Avengers,
whatever
basically.
The heck it was called.
That's how I was introduced to him properly as well. Where they all like Hawkeye had like thick Iron Man-esque armor.
God. And oh man,
wasn't there Wildcat in there as well, or some other like really low list?
Tigra,
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a show. No, it's Mightiest Heroes. Let me tell you. Don't get too confused.
No, please, God.
Wanda Silly Hat jump scares that hopefully gave kids under the recommended viewing age nightmares. Fair, yeah. I'm always the thing with ruining children's lives. That's my stance. The good version of female Captain Marvel. No, because there's only one good version of Captain Marvel, and that's Ms. Marvel. Boom. Ms. Marvel. I like Ms. Marvel. I was never a big fan of Captain Marvel. And Agent Woo being awesome. Who's the thing? Agent Woo, Mikey, I think was played by the same Asian actor who was in Aquaman. You know, I want to know Atlantis, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was the same actor. I'm pretty sure it was. I can only vaguely remember what Agent Woo looks like, so I could be wrong. Still worth checking out for the first 3 episodes. They wouldn't be for Mikey because he doesn't like the sitcom, as just mentioned. If you want something different from the MCU before F and WS goes back to the usual... I don't know what F and WS...
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's another 2 characters I don't care about. Go back to the usual if the trailers are anything to go by. Also, I'm glad that the Beast Wars retro line was not the Better Kingdom paint job line. No, I agree with that.
I agree with that.
And now I don't have to rebuy the ones I already have. For now, you might have to later. You never know.
Presumably they are still being released.
Which ones?
The cheater with the better paint job.
Oh, yeah, that's in the Netflix line.
Yeah, so you might still have to buy them if you're interested in having that paint scheme.
Yeah, it's only the Optimus Primal and the Rat Trap, arguably, which don't have the better paint jobs. If they do the Megatron in there, I mean that line's always kind of limited anyway, so maybe you won't have to. I don't know.
Who will be the spoiler box?
No, that's
how irrelevant will they be to the spoilers?
They might be Megatron, I suppose, because I mean it was Ultra Magnus twice. I doubt they could use him for a 3rd time.
Ultra Magnus again.
I kind of would like it if they did
Prime,
him for the spoiler box 3 times in a row.
Nemesis was one as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought there was only 2 spoiler boxes. Was there 3?
No, there was only one for Ultra Magnus. Is only in one.
I thought he was in 2. Huh.
No, he's only in one.
Okay, that's my
bad.
bad.
Dead Prime. Sleeping Prime. Sorry. Alternate universe Dead Prime.
That's right. Yeah.
which again was highly relevant to the plot.
Dear me. Yeah, I don't know who they do. Maybe it will be Megatron. I'm trying to think of leaders from the previous Earthrise stuff.
Galva boss.
No, they'll have him as a normal release because he'll be in
but they might have a Netflix. Remember, that having a normal release does not stop you from getting a Netflix spoiler box.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Do you have any messages, young Mikey?
Yeah, we've got the one from Jordan Van Zad. Jordan, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Jordan Van Zandt. Van Zandt? I can't speak English or any other language. Hello, sirs. Andy and Mikey of the Moonbase 2. I'm writing today because for the first time ever, I actually agree with Mikey.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That was a fucking dark day, I'm sure. About
a figure being way overpriced. I owned MP44, and for me at least, the insane engineering that went into him was enough to justify the markup from MP10. For the record, MP10 was about 200. Yeah, I believe so. And
that sounds right, yeah.
He got the MP. This will also be justified. I got MP44 for 350 from Amazon JP, and never had any.
That's cheaper, right?
That is about 150 cheaper than some places were doing them.
That's a lot better. It's still expensive, but at least it's 100 off.
Yeah, Big Bad I think was doing them for 450.
No.
Same with Earthrise Prime, as discussed in the last podcast. He's probably a $35 to $40 Voyager, and for me at least, the extra 10 to 15 in US was worth it for the alt mode. Again, fair. However, given the full reveal and that he appears to share a good proportion of his engineering with Studio Series Hot Rod, specifically legs, arm, and back, I cannot say the same for Commander Class Rodimus. To me, at least, a borrowed transformation and a cannon doth not an $80 to $100 figure make. I'm sure you've discussed this reveal, just want to throw in my 2 cents. Thank you for the cutting start of this. P.S. Devastator's Mixmaster Toesies are tune accurate. This was interesting because I've listened to a few podcasts looking for stuff about Rodimus, and they've all talked about the Devastator toys, third parties, and they've all said the same thing about like the toe is towing me off. What's with the toe? What's with the toe? And then I went back and checked screen caps, and he's right.
Is it? Oh, right. Okay.
That is what they had in the Flora tune model. He had a little toe.
Hang on. Did he have it all the time?
I found some screen casts, Andy. I didn't watch episodes.
Okay, so the answer is maybe, but maybe not.
Well, that's the thing. Whenever his
sometimes.
What we need to check then is whenever his eyes changed.
Oh God!
Did his feet change at the same time? Because he's got at least 2 or 3 different eye sets in that show.
I think you're right there. Yeah, yeah. Because he had the really tiny eyes, which was like Heavy Metal Wars. Then he had the bigger eyes, and then he had the visor, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe his toes change depending on his eyes. Maybe if he's cold outside, his toes hide away. When he sees RC, they get really big and come out of his foot.
Ah, gross. Ladies, if you see a man's toes sticking up, just ask him to show some fucking class.
To be fair, if you see a man's toes explode out from his shoe, you should be worried and run. Oh God, his toes are so powerful. Ugh.
That man's toes are too powerful for the world.
They're like hands.
He's waving.
Yeah, no, I think that was the message that agreed with you. I bet it was nice to get one of those, Mikey. I'm not hearing it now.
I'm just like that wonderful phrase. For the first time ever, I agree with something you said. It's like you were wrong so many times, and this one moment you stumbled upon correctness.
Maybe they look like J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man. They're listening to the show and they're like, haha, Mikey's wrong again. Then they hear you talk and they go, you serious? He's right. Shit.
Next newspaper, like, J. Jonah Jameson was right.
Mikey was right. Scandal. Mikey was right.
He's a menace.
Amazing. Right, well, I think that'll do us for the show, Mr. Mikey. Where can people find you on the internet if you wish them to?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paleo, and of course, if you want to send an email mocking me by agreeing with me, thank you for the email, by the way, Jordan.
Yes, thank you.
The email address is themoonbase2@gmail.com, and you can send a message over on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, Libsyn, and all those other wonderful places where we congregate as a herd.
Oh my God, that sounds creepy.
Yep. Andy.
Yep. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter as CCTFW, YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find us on the places Mikey said, like the Moonbase 2 forum, Facebook, Libsyn, iTunes, YouTube as Transformers, Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. You can find us on patreon.com/Moonbase2, and if you do $2 each month, you get the extended version of From the Files of Teltran 2, where we talk about an extra comic, and you get it a week early, and the Moonbase Woo Woo, where we talk about non-transformery things. That's something I did this week. I put out your Patreon show finally.
Yay!
Finally. Which was you talking about Trigger, a studio
Trigger.
which you are notorious to hate.
Yes, why didn't we call it Triggered?
Oh, no, I don't like the idea of that. That gives bad connotations. Bad,
Mikey's
bad,
triggered.
You can also find us on the ccbunker.weebly.com if you want to go that way. And you can... I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah, that should be it. Oh, you can find me on Twitch as CCTFW as well, where I do video game streams from usually 11 o'clock UK time to 2 o'clock UK time. 1 o'clock UK time. Sometimes it goes longer, and I go, oh god, I need to sleep now, please. Right, well, thank you, Mikey, for coming on this week and having another natter with moi about the Transformers.
Never is.
And until next week, everybody, hopefully we will have some more news. I was actually surprised how much we got this week, to be honest. Until next time, everybody, thank you for coming on by, and we will catch you guys next time.
Peace.
It's time for another episode of Moonbase.
Woo, woo, woo!
Woo, woo!
Woo, woo!
Woo, woo!